I'm doing a short summary of what the Holy Spirit has been teaching me as a mixed Latin in New York City. That the day we have a lot of problems with white and the army is the day that Latinas are going through a civil rights that we have not yet covered. The day that there's an assumption that we are black is the day that we are not black. We are treated differently. And I'm almost positive that when they add up all those liability cases and torts against Latins, that they could see a pretty picture of why God always wants lawyers to turn into a different kind of bodyguard towards my culture has been more clear than before. I am starting to see that as a cute summary, there is the story of Rapunzel. God says, the day you see that story in a white culture is a day you know that God is a little bit more elegant about talking about women's long hair, and why there would be stories about women with long hair and golden locks and how that turns into money is a day you know that hair is a substitute word for sex, and that's why women were in towers and locked up. And that's why God always tried to maintain control of women and creating havoc in society where other cultures have to deal with their jealousies, etc., etc., or the privilege is not the opportunity, is what God said. The privilege of having a white skin is less discrimination. But the other story that God tells us is, remember the story about how people where the women were buried with the children. That is the other hindsight of God, to be careful of white culture, because the day that you guys see that these cultures are not representing Latinas properly, or when you see that good Latinas are being criticized for being too sweet or for being a kissing machine, would be something that they would not favor. All that sweetness just turns their stomach, and all they want is money for these women at home. Is a day you know that in sociology they would say that women and children are always not the money makers, but the day that they want them to be money makers is the day you know that it wreaks havoc in society, to be watching men who want to make money with mothers and children in surveillance is just wreaking havoc. But the next time I know that we all have a sense of humor of a concentration camp for white cultures would be white society sending them back in a cute little raft over to England and Ireland, etc., would not be there. I'm focusing on more like the Irish culture. And then it was called what? We gotta grow a titty near Latin culture, like in Florida, in the map, was God's also sense of humor. But that's a wrap of a summary of how God is teaching Latins that what we're all going to turn to Martin Luther King Jr. That, I'm going to tell you the next time you know that Latins don't know why they're going through things is a day you know that it's the racism that is more clear in New York City from now on. And the next time I have to surveil and evaluate white Latins who are with white Irish is a day you know that I saw these men become pussies who would just follow everything that the Irish woman vomited is not there wanted, because the next time I saw that these women don't give birth, and then it's just real complicated, that Latins seem to be family oriented, is a day you know that God's been explaining how I could be grouping women who do birth control with the ones who give birth together. But the next time I know that they want to break legs and they want to slice legs, and then the men think that they can just do the same thing that women want to do in this growing society, is more like it, because they say that they're learning a lesson. But the day that they do one thing one day and then the next day you got to get a reminder is the day you know that these transitions into a more normal society is taking way longer than expected. That's what it is.